Hi, welcome to Illuminated Tarot. My name is Jenna. You're probably wondering what I'm doing. I'm actually introducing a new series where I'm going to be checking in with you before each batch for each zodiac sign at the beginning of every month and at the middle of every month. So I can introduce to you the decks that I'm going to be using. We're going to be pulling collective messages. It's basically a beginning of the month and mid-month reflection point. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the astrology and what we're moving through collectively beyond the weekly messages, where, the weekly collective message, I really deep dive into the astrology. I share quotes. We pull, what you don't see coming, and we get a lot of messages that way. This is a little different. I'm going to be doing some pre-shuffled oracle messages for the decks I'm going to be using for each of your signs. Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Some of you check North Node, South Node, Mars, whatever you would like to see. But this is for all of you as a whole. And I want to talk a little bit about, what's interesting that came out. First, I want to talk about Libra season in general. We're going to be clarifying some of the Libra energies that we're in because we're at that midpoint of the season. So this is going to bring in wisdom, first of all, from the Divine Masters Oracle by Kyle Gray. This is the first deck I'm going to be using for each of your zodiac signs. They will be pre-shuffled because I want to sit with the energy and get downloads and messages from the deity themselves. This is a combination, a 44 oracle card deck of saints, of ascended masters, of angelic entities, and we'll call them galactic beings. And this is kind of a newer version of Kyle Gray's Ascended Masters deck. So it's no coincidence as we go into this. This is basically what I'm calling, especially for this time period, is it's going to reflect the energies we're swimming in. We're still integrating the eclipse season. So we're calling this post-eclipse season integration work, where we are inviting ourselves to bring everything back into balance in our lives, wherever things are out of balance, to focus more on liberating ourselves from anything that we're holding back from launching or initiating creatively or in our lives, to clear up any stagnancy, and then to act on the depths of our love and in creation as guiding energies through the remainder of this month. So let's go into the first card that came out. We have Mayet. And this is an ancient Egyptian deity. She's actually one of the oldest ancient forms of the goddess of justice. So it's interesting that she came out because we're also moving into, on the 13th of October, in a couple days, Venus is entering Libra, its home sign. All right. So Mayet is here to remind us to return to a state of balance, equilibrium, and truth. So this is about weighing our hearts, right? Our actions, our words, our intentions against the feather of truth. And really doing this like self-reflection and evaluation. This is going to help us restore inner harmony, and it's going to clear any distortions that we may have experienced during eclipse season. So especially around any imbalances or overextension of self. So when we embody this energy, we align with divine justice and cosmic order. So in the card itself, it says divine intervention, weigh up your options and choose the highest good. So that's the first card that we're being called on as a collective to restore truth, harmony, and balance. All right. Then we have, which is interesting, it's a very Libra card. Then we have Kali Ma, which is about divine severance, about cutting cords, which I saw as themes with a lot of the signs for the rest of October. We had a lot of justice cards, a lot of karmic cards coming out. Kali Ma also rules Shakti and our life force energy, which came out in the Divine Inner Temple Oracle by Rebecca Campbell for the week ahead. So it's no coincidence that Kali Ma came out, which is about cutting cords to dramas, fears, and limitations. So this is a Hindu goddess of death and rebirth. So no coincidence that we are now, isn't it beautiful how everything is a reflection? So we have in Kali Ma a representation of the deeply scorpionic energies we're in, with Scorpio, Mercury and Mars being in Scorpio, and Mars with its home sign of Scorpio. So Kali Ma is, so we have this divine justice, divine order coming in around balance being restored and maintaining equilibrium. And also cutting cords. That's what, we have to do to restore order. And also to to allow our life force to re-infiltrate, right, our bodies. This is around having fierce compassion and liberation around any entanglements that are drawing us down, draining our power, or are obscuring our soul's truth. Okay? So it's a matter of releasing the sacred unbinding, right, that we need to in order to free ourselves to create more freedom, right? So letting go is an act of love. Remember that. Kali Ma is a very fierce force in our lives, but this is making space for renewal. So whatever you need to cut away, it's a powerful expression, right, of increasing your life force by doing that. So we have this really beautiful Libra Scorpio energy coming in for the rest of October. And then we have this soft energy of Paul the Venetian, which is the gifted one. He was said to have lived during the time of the Renaissance, and he was a painter. So, and I'm seeing this too in a lot of zodiacs. I mean, these are all themes that I've been seeing in the monthly overviews. And now that we're going into mid-monthly overviews, we're going to see an extension of this and a deepening of these energies. So these may come out for some of you moving forward with your pre-shuffled oracle messages for your specific sign. But the card itself says, gifted one, revealing hidden talents and opportunities to shine. And Paul the Venetian is about creative expression. And again, really allowing yourself to radiate this by cutting cords, by restoring harmony and balance, by speaking truth, right? By not overextending your energy. So he's encouraging us to open the heart and allow beauty, allow the beauty of the creative life force, right? The light of the creator to flow through our lives. And he reminds us that our gifts, the things that we have been born to activate in this time period, anything creatively that you feel, this impulse, this creative impulse to go toward, they are true languages of the soul. So whatever you're feeling guided to, it's almost like whatever you want to purge and release, it could free up this creative force energy around you where you can share your authentic self in a deeper way, right? Because whenever we express love through artistry or through words, through music, through language, it's allowing us to tell our stories, to tell our truths, and it becomes a bridge for others, right, to awaken to their light. So get out there and express yourselves, so you can, really let your inner radiance shine. That's Paul the Venetian's energy. Now, the second deck I'm going to be working with for the mid-monthly is the Sweet Love Tea Oracle cards. As you can see here, it's a really nice, delightful deck. I like to take a look at your love lives, briefly. Some of it comes out in the tarot, especially with Libra season, wherever we might have a challenge. This is basically a card that's expressing to all of us to be careful in matters of the heart, right? This is a card that says needs tending, pay more attention to your love life to get results. So it calls for gentle tending to the garden of love. And wherever we find, whether we're in partnership or we're trying to deepen in connection, it's a matter of, careful presence. And if you look at this, just the imagery of the heart, right? In the winter, that even in the colder seasons, love can blossom. Yeah. So this card really reminds me that no matter what we're experiencing, it's important not to shut down, close off, to respond to others with grace, to listen with care, and to keep your heart open, right? It's like the sacred fire of love only grows through conscious tending. And so wherever you feel like you're neglecting, whether it's through self-love or loving other people in a more tender-hearted way, this is going to really embody, just pay more attention to being tender with other people. We all need more love in the world. And if you want more love, you have to tend to it, right? You have to put attention to it. So I'll be looking into your individual zodiac signs with more of these messages, but I just wanted to use one. I mean, we are tending to love always, but pay extra careful attention, right, to matters of the heart. Nourish, date, respond, be real, be true, be authentic, and be loving and be kind, right? We're getting that message from the spirit realm for the rest of the month. Now, let's go into, as Venus enters Libra on October 13th, This is the Empress card. And I did see it come out quite a bit for the Zodiac. I feel like the beginning of October was more about, let's focus on karmic order, divine justice. Also, Kali Ma, we have this breathing, this fire, right, of that Aries full moon in a scorpionic way. Like, what do we need to transform, right? And it could be kind of fierce. Eclipse season was a little bit of a shakeup for a lot of us, where we were looking at our patterns, looking at our wounding, looking at what we need to work on in ourselves. So we have the Empress card. And actually, I'm working with a new tarot deck for a lot of the mid-monthlies, and it's the Witch's Tarot, which, right, why not? That's like the best time of year to bring in a tarot deck in October, right? It's got to be a Witch's Tarot. So the Empress is one of my favorite cards, not just because I'm a Libra, but she's just this beautiful embodiment of abundance, of growth, of fertility, of harmony, and of heart-centered creation. And as you can see, she carries all 12 signs of the Zodiac on top of her head, and she has this scepter of power, signaling that she births new worlds, right? She's truly like a hierarchical order of the divine feminine and the power of the divine feminine. I mean, when women give birth to daughters, I heard this morning, it's 3 generations in that moment because of the eggs within the baby. And so we pass on this information through the maternal line as women, especially women who birth daughters. And if you birth sons, that's more of a completion. And especially if you birth a daughter after a son, you're actually using codes that have advanced, completing one circuit and actually, passing into a new circuit. So those of you who are like the last born daughter, you might find that interesting. I thought that was interesting. I heard that this morning. So she's reminding us to nurture what is growing within and around us, whatever it is, our relationships, our creative visions, inner peace. We're all working on those things all the time. But this is a sacred time to bring balance into what's going on, within and outside of you. So this is about giving and receiving love. It's about honoring your sensuality. It's about expressing your truth with grace. So we're going to clarify this in a moment, but she is the great teacher of, abundance flows when we align with nature's rhythm, and especially during this change of the season, the autumn equinox, this is a time to open our hearts to the harmony, right, that love creates. So I feel like these energies together create this sacred story of restoring balance, right? Through truth, releasing what no longer serves, embracing our creative expression and nurturing love through careful, intentional presence. And we need more of that in the world today, right? Well, it's about soulful tending and coming home to what matters in our lives, both within and around us. So let's now clarify the Empress, and then we're going to end with the Inner Temple Oracle, okay, from Rebecca Campbell. Let's now clarify with the Golden Foil Tarot, the Empress. This is, what do we not see coming, Spirit? What do we not see coming? And I've already called Spirit in before I hit record, so I won't be doing that for these, because I'm really working on these pre-shuffled messages. Actually, they're saying, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Look at that. We have the Queen of Cups and the Ten of Wands. So, yes, it's hard always to keep the heart open, to allow yourself to soften, especially when we go through challenging circumstances. But we're being called to do that. Queen of Cups, Ten of Wands. And I think a lot of us are ending, this is, 10-10. We're hitting the 10-10 portal. I think I'm reading the day before. And this has been a challenging cycle for us for just that, the matters of the heart, because we came here to really engage with these other souls in our karmic blueprint, our soul's curriculum. And it's hard. We learn all about what unconditional love means. And it doesn't mean we become pushovers. It just means that we actually see the soul in everyone. What I shared with the collective reading for the week. If you can't see the soul in a person, you become blind. And I think the path of a light worker is to see the light in all things. And the more you focus on that, the more it will be expressed to you in the most beautiful, magical ways. So let's now go into the Empress. This is what we don't see coming, especially with this Venus and Libra placement coming in a few days. That will be, I think, through November 6th as we go into Scorpio season. Seven of Pentacles. Is it worth it, right? Putting energy? Yes, it is. That's life's riches. They're saying whatever you need to really reevaluate and reassess at this time around, you know, your own abundance, around your growth, it's worth it, because we're going from the Seven of Pentacles to the Ten of Pentacles. This is bringing it home, right? Like, I've been saying that a lot lately. Like, where is home for you? And what do you need to nurture, tend to, cultivate within your life to actually bring about the stability and security you seek in your life as an individual, in your life, in your connections? Because the Ten of Pentacles is the end all be all. It's, you know, I have everything I need. And that's what we need to be evaluating. What do you need? Yeah, and it's all Earth. Wow, interesting. It's rare for me to get, and this Aquarian, the Pluto going into Aquarius direct is heavily influencing us right now as we root and ground. It's almost like let nature guide you. I mean, Lady Gaia she's just this benevolent force. I mean, she is truly unconditionally loving. Everything that we have done on this planet, to this planet, with this planet, and as much, I mean, she provides everything. I've been talking about Jane Goodall a lot in the readings, and it's like truly, like, everything we experience while we visit this planet, because we're only visitors here, she is giving to us. So give back in any way you can, whether it's a food drive or whether it's buying, you know, a homeless person a cup of coffee. Like, be kind, do generous acts this season. I think that's a very Libran quality, to be kind to other people, to seek, you know, love for love's sake in all interactions. And I believe that a lot of us are being guided for the rest of this month as we clarify the Empress energy. It's all about the work required. We're going from the 7 to the 10 to the 8. It's almost like we're looking at our lives, taking stock around what is life's riches for me? What does it mean for me? And it's different for everybody. And then the Empress is saying, keep working on it. Keep working on it. Don't give up. It's worth it. Whatever you're working on, whether it's growing pains in a connection or working hard in your career or, you know, whatever it is, cooking a meal for your family, do it with love. Don't do it out of obligation or martyrdom or I have to. We need to get more clear about why we do what we do. And when we do it with love, don't do something if you're not doing it with love. That's what the Empress demands. All right? I want to see what we don't see coming here at the bottom of the deck. So it's very Earth energy. It's just like, don't give up on your path of your generational legacy. This is your what you came here to achieve. Full stop. And this is what, you know, what you're building in your lives. It's all Earth. So we have the Star, the Queen of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. There's a giddy up too. I think that Spirit's really pleased with the collective in general at this checkpoint, because 1010 is a collective checkpoint. We have a lot of solar flares happening. This Atlas, you know, energy is unique and interesting. I was reading last night that NASA and there's almost like a blackout of information. I could be wrong. We never know what's the truth anymore, right? With AI and technology and the news. But overall, I do feel, as a light worker on this planet with a mic, I feel very grateful and fortunate to be here at this time. I think it is a blessing to be alive. Even though we see a lot of suffering, it is a blessing. And we do our parts, just like Jane Goodall looked us in the eye on her icon video recently, to do your part. Do whatever it is that you feel called to do to make a difference on the planet, and it will be a life well served, right? And that's what Spirit's saying to us. Like, we're being lovingly guided and directed by Spirit at this time to move forward with our plans, our dreams, our focuses in our life's calling, our divine calling. Because that is the Aquarian age, the new Earth. It's about embodying the excitement, the vital life force energy, right? The Shakti of the heart. the higher heart resonance. And I think the most awakened people are the most loving people on the planet. They radiate love. I mean, these are the people where you walk into a room and the babies and the animals and the people just want to come toward you. The more you love yourself, and that's the work, doing the work to love yourself, to have compassion, fierce compassion for all beings, even when they are the walking wounded, the walking blind, right? We need to stop perpetuating negativity on this planet. So Spirit is saying, be love, and be excited, because there's a lot of visionary movement going on beneath the surface. And this is really bridging new worlds and building it, right? The Empress, the divine feminine, the divine goddess of justice is saying, just maintain it, maintain balance, and really do what you feel called to do to make a difference, okay? So let's now go into the final card for the Inner Temple Oracle. So I think that's going to be really fun doing your individual zodiac reading soon. Looking forward to doing those. I'm going to start with, I think I'm going to do something different. They're calling me to do something different because I know it's been frustrating for some of you to wait forever. I love starting out with Aries. Let me know if you like this. But I'm going to now start with, at least for just this grouping, okay, for mid-monthlies, with Libra, going through the actual order from Libra forward, okay? And that might be a new way because everyone gets their turn. And that's a metaphor for even the reading itself. We all get our turn, right? When we really do this work and we put the time in, right? The blood, sweat, and tears of the healing path, the healing journey, right? The hero's journey. It's worth it. It's worth it, okay? Because this is an experience that we get to take back. And I'm willing to bet. I place my bet right here. On the cosmic scale, that when you leave this earth plane, there are so many beings that are like, what was it like? I can't believe you went. I can't believe it. Like, I want to hear everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty cool. Like, it's a campfire story, right? The stories we're living out right now. So make it count. You may be needing some campfires because it's brisk. I had to get out my Uggs. I got Uggs for my birthday from a special someone. All right. I'll just say that. All right. Let's get into the final card, the Inner Temple Oracle. The Machine. Okay. What does this mean? It looks very shadowy. Look at that. And we have, looks like kind of like a Gemini energy there. She has a suit that is a polarity suit. So she's talking about the Machine and the Mystic here. And the Machine came out. So a lot of you might be like nodding. This is the world we live in. Okay, so the Mystic and the Machine. I'm going to talk about this. The Machine, unsustainable ways, soulless, greed, parched, external validation, reaching, exhaustion, pushing, churn and burn, meaninglessness, paper thin, hungry for more, controlling, shallow. Boy, okay. The other polarity is the Mystic. Creativity, magic, dreamer, alignment, potency, awe, flow, harmony, deep connection, inner world, nectar, overspilling, unique medicine, satisfaction, unrestrained, wild, free, intimacy, purpose, and unique expression. Wow. Seems like all the energies that Spirit is calling us to experience is the Mystic, but the Machine wants to be highlighted right now. What part of the card is right side up? Which meaning is calling to you most? Well, the Machine. Yeah, the Machine is what? Wait, right side up. Yeah, the Machine, because that's what's right side up. She's talking about the Mystic. Our modern society tends to capitalize on what's, wait, let me see if there's, I'm sorry. Okay, it is. She didn't have like a different section. Our modern society tends to capitalize on what's well received, but we must be careful not to dampen the creative spark that made it possible. When we use our creativity for a controlled outcome, we can easily lose the magic and turn into producing, not creating. Producing starves the soul. It turns the mystic into a machine. Okay. This is the challenge for the artist, for the mystic, to create, not produce. So really, this is really a reflection on both, not to tip the scale into being a machine where you just produce, because there is a lot of activity of work going on and a reevaluating of whether it's worth the effort to get to your goal. And that to keep your vision high and put your heart and soul into it as you move forward with your fire energy. Let's read the mystic. The mystic is dedicated to having a direct and intimate relationship with the sacred. Mystics are the artists, the poets, the visionaries, and the dreamers. The world needs more mystics right now to create and make new myths for humanity. The mystic prioritizes the soul, while the machine lacks soul. Wow. This is interesting because we're in the machine, right? This is the matrix, right? And a soulless, but it depends on where you want to vibrate. We are inside of a matrix. The mystic creates, the machine produces. Anyone can produce pretty much anything if they try, yet no one can create quite like you. If the mystic is right way up, it's an acknowledgement of our sacred purpose and an encouragement to go even deeper. But if the machine is right side up, consider whether you've been putting too much emphasis on the external for guidance rather than the internal. Yeah. This is too when you need to be careful about when you are going through a challenge and who you confide in. Who are your, what is your support system? And is it really uplifting you, or do they have preconceived judgments? Are they dragging you down? Are they not seeing who you have become? Because a lot of us have been cutting cords to different connections that we have outgrown. And if you're keeping people around you that cannot help in your evolution, supporting that as they evolve, then they are supporting a previous version of you. And I think what I'm seeing here is as we embody this growth and abundance and the work we're doing for our 10 of Pentacle energy, aligned with our star and our heart center moving forward, we have to consider, where we're putting our attention and how we are collectively using our energy. So that's fascinating. I want to get just a supportive card around that because that was really interesting. So do it with soul. That's what I was talking about. Do it with heart. Let me get one support, whatever energies want to come out, just to clarify a little bit more this energy. What do you want us to know here? That was fascinating. Page of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like your intentions, your manifestation. We're all going through rebirth and how we manifest. We have the death here. Page of Pentacles to the death and the King of Wands. It's about freeing up our Shakti overall. And it's hard to do. It's hard to do. I think that in order to restore harmony and balance, this is looking at our shadow as well. I'm hearing that around this death and around unplugging from anything and everything that is soulless, right? That isn't on that path of the visionary, right? I think that we know when a connection is serving us and when it isn't. And when we actually pull back and we don't let everyone and anyone have access, we actually align with this really beautiful energy of renewal. It's like we're all being renewed in our fire, in our ambition, in our creative. I mean, King of Wands is your creative fire, your actual vital life force energy. So we're going through this real purification through this eclipse portal. And as we integrate this, they really want us to really keep our intentions pure and clear, okay? Something I want to do, because I didn't know how long this was going to take. I'm going to do something very fun. This may be something I can do. We're going to do it. Because I'm only at 20-something minutes. And I want to see. We're going to do each zodiac sign real quick. All right? But I'm going to go from Libra, as it is an air sign. And we're going to go all the way down through air signs. And then I'm going to be organic with this. I wasn't sure if I would do this, but I'm going to do it. Oh, and this is the Inner Temple Oracle. Okay. I don't know if I showed you that. We're going to be using that one as well. So I don't have that deck here. I'm going to move this over here. Now let's do it. Let's do this. Libra. I want to find out, just checking in. Let's just do a Libra check-in for the Venus in Libra. For Libras. Yeah, let's do it. Ooh, they're telling me just to highlight one astrological component. And I think the Venus in Libra, because this overall message is about returning to love. And the mystic, right? the dreamer, the visionary, the wonderment, the awe of being alive. Libra. Just a quick message. Just a quick message for Libra spirit. For Venus and Libra, for Libra. Okay. There's been some confusion. You have the Seven of Cups as you wrap. Yeah, I think you're wrapping up a cycle where you were very confused. Maybe you heard all kinds of information. You know, this is truly too. I think Libras are learning. Be careful who you share your information with, because you or that's the biggest thing of your own wisdom is sourced from you. Your own inner guidance system is your compass through life. And be careful, right, with the opinions of other people. Also, this is the card of illusion. I think this is a big energy as Venus is re-entering Libra for a couple of, we'll say, 5 weeks soon? Or no, 3 weeks? Really be careful with illusion, all right? It feels like you've stepped out of that type of timeline. You know how to, I've got a hair. Yeah, maybe get out of hairy situations, sticky situations. Keep your heart open. I think you're learning here how to pierce through confusion and illusion when it comes to your emotional state and to keep things steady. I think you've recently had a disappointment in a connection, but you're trying to keep your heart open, okay? You're now clarifying things. I think you have a game plan. There's something that you're clearing up with somebody. We have the Lovers. We have 2 aces here. So there's a renewal going on in a connection, and you being lovingly guided in your High Priestess energy to look at some subconscious patterns and beliefs between you and another, and really it's been a crossroads for a connection in your life. It doesn't have to be romantic, but I think that you're learning how to communicate from your wounding and to bring a new energy. You could be dealing with someone who's just, I would say, someone who's got mad love for you. Okay, Libra, if you are dealing with someone. All right, now we are kind of now they're saying it's kind of like a love check-in, because this is Venus, y'all, and it's in Libra, all right? So now let's go into Gemini. Gemini, what's going on for you all for the Venus and Libra placement going on in a couple of days? What does Venus and Libra have to say to you, Gemini? We have divine inspiration. You're moving in a new direction. This could be you feeling more sensual. Okay. Yeah, you could be communicating with someone. This placement may be harmonizing some aspect for you. Some of you have been going through a disappointment. If you're in a partnership, you're trying to find the truth. You could be dealing with a fire sign, a King of Wands. I think, it's like, it looks so far, the air signs, or at least maybe everybody. It's like clearing up confusion, misunderstandings, disappointment, feeling inspired yet again, learning how to communicate, right, from your spiritual core. And moving forward, we have the Hierophant, the Page of Swords, the Ace of Wands, the Four of Cups, the Justice, and the King of Wands. So for you, Geminis, it looks like you are fired up. You're trying to bring something back into balance. You have somebody around you that does a lot of desire for you. It looks like there is a commitment and you're weathering some storms. But if you can learn how to communicate, and it's like, I feel like this time period for the rest of October, at least from what I'm seeing with this Venus and Libra placement, this is like, sexy time energy. All right, Gemini, for those of you that are in partnership. And I am going in every check-in for the monthly, mid-monthly. I need you to know, Gemini, it depends on the placement, what I'm going to be highlighting. But because this is Venus and Libra, apparently we're doing romance, okay? All right, now let's go into Aquarius, all right? Because this is a Venus and Libra placement, we are going into what's going on. It could be with money. It could be with resources. It could be with restoring balance, could be with love, as love is very much highlighted, and romance during Libra season, especially with Venus, okay? Matters of the heart. What's going on for you, Aquarius? Okay, we have Nine of Swords. There's been a lot of stress around your family life, something that you maybe are overthinking around your emotional fulfillment at this time, okay? Venus is bringing in a little bit of confusion. So keep shuffling. It's going to come out. Yeah, this is around a long-term connection, something you've had in your life for a while, or it could be confusion around what to do around your careers and around your finances. You have the Ten of Pentacles. You're going through a complete overhaul in your family or your finances, all right? We have the Death. Going into Scorpio season, it looks like you need to really monitor the way you stress about money or the way you stress about family. It's not serving you to take on this much anxiety, okay, Aquarius? This could be have to do with a deep connection in your life and how you're going to manifest more happiness and more fulfillment. I do see things moving forward, but be careful with taking getting too fueled. Okay, we have the Lovers, the Page of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and the Ace of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands. I see you really working on manifesting more balance through this placement, but you're going to need to really have courage to keep your heart open. I think that you are working a lot on this. It feels to me it's either through a commitment or your commitment to your career or your commitment to a connection, and you trying not to overthink it. And if you can take a step back and really focus on your own independence, okay, no matter what you're dealing with through this placement, okay, it's transforming. But it's a matter of you pulling your energy back and focusing on your own lane, staying in your own lane. There is some sort of promotion or victory coming in for a lot of you who are waiting on some sort of job opportunity or rising above your current circumstances. You are aligning this Pluto energy. It's like you're overcoming maybe some long-standing stress in a family life or in a career opportunity that you're just like, how long do I got to keep doing this? All right, because you could feel like you want to make a change, but you're worried that you're not going to be able to have the finances to support it. But there does seem to be a new idea coming in, Aquarius, and a new truth being spoken during this time period for you with Venus in Libra. Overall, I see a victory for you with the Six of Wands. So please try not to worry. We're going to go deeper into your reading soon. Okay, Aquarius? Now, I'm being called to go into Scorpio because we are going to Scorpio season soon. Some of this time period I'm reading for this Venus and Libra placement. Scorpios. I'm just doing this kind of like, I wasn't planning on doing this, but why not? Let's now go into Scorpio. Scorpio, what does this Venus and Libra placement have in store for you? Basically, it's the 13th of October, I believe, to November 6th. What's going on for you? Well, you're feeling a lot of stress as well. What's going on here? We have the Nine of Swords, the Five of Cups. There's some sort of loss. All right. You've been going through some challenges around feeling bummed out about a situation and a little bit of stressed around it. Okay. Five of Cups. I think that there's something that's made you feel emotional. It could be something to do with the work situation because I'm seeing work. You're either putting your work into something and it's not adding up for you, but there could be an office romance that you've been worrying about. Maybe you're dealing with someone that's going through a lot. You're trying to hold steady. Feels like you're trying to be a support to someone in the work environment. You could be dealing with a third party situation and misunderstandings and miscommunication. Okay. We have the Knight of Cups, the Three of Cups, the Eight of Wands, and the Hierophant. I think there's a lot of spiritual lessons you're learning at this time around whatever situation you're dealing with. Let me keep going here. What else does Scorpio need to know? Now, this situation can change, but it's just with energies I'm reading for now as Venus moves into Libra. I think this is a truce, all right? A calling for equality. I do see energy being given to you. You want fairness, all right? I do think that things are going to work out, all right? Whatever you've been dealing with, it's time to calm down in it and just get settled in it. There is a feeling of reciprocity, and I do see things emotionally harmonizing for whatever situation you're dealing with at this time. Okay, Scorpio? All right, let's now go into... I'm hearing Cancer. Cancer. I'm looking at your Venus and Libra placement for the next couple of weeks and what that has in store for you before I do the mid-monthly readings. So Cancer, what's going on for Cancers? Now this could have to do with money, love, where you need to restore balance. Ooh, we've got some incoming news. Okay, Page of Swords. Something you're hearing feels good. Some of you, it's news around a new investment opportunity or a green light on a project. Could be money being handed to you. Okay, Cancer, it's a brand new beginning. It's a tangible beginning. It's something you're like, should I do this? Should I go for this? I'm not really sure. I feel like there's a little bit of like you're analyzing something. It could be even looking at contracts and making sure everything, looks good. Ooh, some of you that's to do with coming out of a little bit of stuckness in a love situation. We're going there. I think that there's definitely someone who wants to invest in this. Maybe you don't always express what's on your mind. Don't hold back from things that are weighing heavily on your heart at this time, okay? There's a lot of healing going on, Cancer, in a connection for you. Everybody's getting the Lovers and the Queen of Cups. And it's really like, just try to be as loving as you can and, tend to this, with love and kindness, all right? This is about not holding back from what you need to say, all right? Because we have the Eight of Swords. It's like troubled communication, right? And being uncertain. Maybe you're waiting to hear from somebody. There is healing that came out again. Four of Swords, Temperance, yeah. I believe that things are going to come back into balance, but you need to be patient with whatever situation you're dealing with. You could be reevaluating things with a connection at this time if it's worth it for you. I am seeing that if you can really be patient, yeah, there is a renewal of love. Whatever situation you're dealing with, it does seem to be a renewal. We have an Ace of Cups. Some of you are like, you know, whatever work you've been doing on, if you're single, you're opening up to new love opportunity, and this could just be like, finally. Or if you're in a connection, I'm seeing that there's a group of you that are in connection. Some of you aren't, but I see that if you're willing to really open up and put energy towards this and tend to your love life, you're really going to be sowing great fruitful seeds, harvest seeds of love. The more you just focus on your own healing and you come back into balance with yourself to open up to new connection, or with another to open up the communication in a new way. Okay. All right. But that looks really solid, Cancer. I would say that if you've been worried about a situation, things are going to settle down. Okay. Yeah. You might be upset by some words someone said to you, or communication that came in, and you're trying to clear up some confusion. All right. But I do see harmonization for you, Cancer. Overall, you're going to be happy emotionally, but you got to speak up. Okay. But from a loving, soft place. Okay. And that requires sometimes just looking at people in the eye, not doing it over text or even phone, in person, and even asking, is this the right time to bring up some things that have been on my mind, right? When it's the right time and the right place, and you say it with deep sincerity, it's better than a quick text that people can misunderstand, right? At work, you know what I mean? It's interesting how we receive information, how it can really play into the dynamic of how it's received. All right. When you send it, how you send it. So be conscious of that. All right, Cancer, around anything you're dealing with. All right. Now let's go into Pisces. What's going on with Pisces? Ooh, we have a little bit of deception. There's something around your star energy, which is, you've lost faith in a situation. Pisces, somebody in your life has hurt you. Okay. We have the Seven of Swords with the Three of Swords, which is the Ten of Swords. There's some sort of ending and a restoration of your faith. All right. Venus is bringing you healing and moving away from a deceptive energy. You've been going inward, and I think you've been really career focused for a lot of you tuning in. All right, Pisces. There's a beautiful new opportunity coming in that could be long-term, but you were definitely turning your back on somebody who lied to you, who wasn't honest with you. And you're just trying to come back into yourself, and do you. And but you want what you're focusing on next is you want something long term. You don't want it to be quick. You don't want it to be a situationship, but you're letting go of some baggage from somebody. Okay. But you've got, looks like a fire sign coming in that might take you by surprise. Knight of Wands during Venus and Libra, who wants to give to you equally. This is equal reciprocity. We have the Six of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. Yeah. And the Chariot, Five of Pentacles. Yeah. This is being bummed out by one situation, but not realizing that was a lesson for you to align with more of an equal experience and a test. I'm getting that you were tested recently, and it's you thought this was it, but it wasn't. This could have been months ago for some of you, and you've been working on you, but I see you turning your back on a situation that was hot and cold, and it's bumming you out. But at the end of the day, it's the right thing to do. Okay. You're moving forward. You're reevaluating things. Okay. I think that you're standing strong on your own, and you're coming back into balance. Okay. We have the Nine of Pentacles, the Temperance. All right. So never fear. All right. Let's now go into fire signs. I'm being called to get a new deck. Let me go into This May Hurt. Okay, I like this one. Aries, you seem to like this deck. So Aries, we are now, what I'm doing kind of on the fly. I wasn't planning on doing this today, but it's fun. Why not? I think too, we just need to be a little bit more spontaneous. That's my Sagittarius rising energy. So I am now looking just for a brief little, under the covers for what's going on for you, Aries. With this Venus and Libra placement that's coming in on the 13th for the next few weeks, what can you anticipate with Venus in Libra for Aries? For Aries. What's going on for Aries, Spirit, for this placement? Ooh, we have the Sun. I love this. Happiness. Ooh la la. You all are in good energy, good standing. I feel like there's a lot of sweet emotional happiness going on for you. I think in general, you have a very loving energy around you. It could just be a maternal energy, women around you. It could be your soul sisters. It could be, if you're a divine masculine, you could have just women around you. But I'm seeing this really softening and feeling a lot of happiness. We have the Sun, the Queen of Cups, the Nine of Cups, the Six of Cups. I mean, hello. Venus in Libra season is bringing you so much love. Unconditional love, self-love, a healing over the past, you doing, your work and being really happy and content. I see the sun shining. I mean, I'd say Aries, so far, you got the best one. Just keep your heart open. There's something really sweet and tender that you could be tending to in your work. But there's also I'm seeing a past life soulmate coming in for a lot of you if you're single. And if you're with someone, there's almost this nostalgia over the past and just loving this person and honoring the connection that you've had. And I just feel this sweet, sweet, loving energy that you're embodying. And I think that if you are calling in something new during Venus and Libra season, there does seem to be someone who's very open-hearted, very loving coming your way. And you don't need to do anything to make it happen. It's just going to come to you, all right? Yeah. If you're looking for a higher level commitment and you feel like you've been stressed out about when it's going to happen, why isn't it happening, and you feel like you've been waiting a long time, we have the Ten of Wands of the Hierophant. A lot of you, don't stress about it, okay? Nine of Wands. It's almost like Spirit's going to surprise you with the moon. A lot of you have been kind of bummed. You're like, I've been alone for a long time. I want a special someone. All right. You've got a new truth coming in and a new opportunity. You're going in a new direction. You are entering into star energy. Don't overthink love right now. Okay. Yeah. I see you kind of it hasn't been easy. You've maybe been really balancing out some karmic situations, especially I'm seeing a wrap up around some sort of work situation. Let me just get a couple more, Aries. But I feel like you're really going to enjoy Venus and Libra season. Just keep your heart open. Let the love flow. Enjoy all your connections. You've got some really sweet connections. This is really, yeah. Eight of Swords. Don't hold back from really opening up to other people, right? You're at a crossroads. I feel like you're going in a new direction. All right. There is some sort of ending going on in your life at this time, but it's aligning you with restoring your faith and your ultimate wish fulfillment. I think you're going in a new direction in your life. And it's part of your wish fulfillment and part of your emotional harmony to go in this direction, okay? So if you have been juggling a lot and you're closing out one cycle and opening up another, whether it's around work or your love life, just know that, you've been dealing with kind of separation and you've been stabbed in the back a lot when it comes to love. And just don't focus on what has happened in the past. Divine timing is at play for you, Aries, okay? Just keep doing what you're doing. A lot of you are working on a glow up. And you're enjoying a lot of creativity in your work. All right, now let's go into Sag. Let's see what's going on for Sag. With this Venus and Libra placement, I'm highlighting for the rest of the month of October and early November. Ooh, oh, you're losing. I just heard you're losing patience. All right, we have Strength in reverse. So this is someone who maybe has too much pride or needs to check their pride at the door. All right, I'm getting be careful with pride. Somebody around you, all right? You could be dealing with someone with heavy Leo placements who you've been struggling with, or you feel like you've taken a hit, right, to your own pride, or you've had to check some of your ego when it comes to a situation. Well, Strength in reverse, or you feel like you've been tapped out when it comes to love in general, and you feel a little drained, Sag, okay? This could be a dropping of the ego to open up your heart too. Ooh, the Wheel is bringing you something good though. We have the Knight of Cups. It's almost you've been learning a lot about what courage and bravery means to you. It's maybe some of you are really having to, be careful with, anyone who wants to offer love to you right now. I think there's a lot of harmony, but you might have had really difficult experiences in the past that you might look at love in general as hard. Okay. Be careful with your intention around love during the Venus and Libra season. I think there is a lot of fulfillment coming in, but make sure you're staying in your own lane. We have the Strength in reverse, the Knight of Cups, the Wheel, the Nine of Cups, and the Ten of Wands. So it looks like you're ending a cycle that has been a little difficult, that's drained you when it comes to your love life in general. But I see someone coming to you with their heart open, potentially with water energy, whether they have a lot of water or they just are here to make you happy, because you're in the Nine of Cups. You have a Knight of Cups coming. That's the final cup. And you have the Two of Cups here. So you could have trust issues that you're working through with someone around trusting love in general. So I'm getting like you have a hard time trusting in love because of your past. Okay. So be careful. I think you're trying to balance two energies here and being patient with the process. Okay. You're in your energy though, Sag. So that's a good thing. We have the Seven of Swords, the Two of Cups, the Temperance, the Seven of Wands. Yeah. I think ultimately what you're learning is to trust yourself and your own truth and make sure you stay in your own power. You are going through a death rebirth in your love cycle right now, where the lesson is, can you really be in connection but still stay independent, right? Some of you trying to cut codependent patterns out, okay, when it comes to deep emotional love, all right? Because this Knight's turning into a King, okay? I think you could be clearing up some stress and some the way you connect with another person and making sure you don't lose yourself in it, either one of you, okay? So that's what I'm seeing there, Sag. Making sure you maintain some independence in your interdependence, okay? All right, so that's your Venus and Libra message. I'm getting to know that this is about upholding balance in all things, especially when it comes to how you express, how you give and receive love. And maybe in this, like, you're learning a lot about emotional intelligence with Venus and Libra, okay? So just keep that in mind as you tend to your love life. Try to find balance in your day-to-day, in your interactions with whoever you're dealing with. Because it looks like things are good, but things can get wonky sometimes, intense, okay? You guys, it's a very strong, we'll say, sensual experience here, all right, that I'm seeing overall. All right, now let's go into, let's move past Sagittarius, and now let's go into Leo. But you're in a new beginning, okay, Sag? Leos, we are now going into Venus in Libra for the placement for the rest of October. This is kind of like something I did on the fly. Wasn't planning on reading every sign, but I think I'll do this. Let me know what you think in the comments. I never do all signs. Leo, what's going on for you with this placement over the next couple of weeks? Venus in Libra. From the 13th, I think, to the 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th of November. What's going on for you, Leos? And this is around money, love, how you spend money, beauty, balance. Okay, you've been a little bit bummed out, okay, when it comes to love in general. All right, Four of Cups. You've had your losses, okay? But there's a new opportunity coming in. It could be by way of at least a new friend, or it could be a new connection that you meet through friends. All right, we have Four of Cups, Three of Cups. Yeah, and they want you to be patient, okay? You're in kind of like this state of surrender right now when it comes to your love life, because you've been working on your healing and you're coming out of illusion and confusion around a recent situation, around what that served for you. I do believe that there's a lot of divine timing at play for your Venus and Libra placement, Leo. We have the Three of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune. We've got a lot of threes, okay? So whether you've been learning about third-party frequencies or just a need to be in a fun, playful, spirited energy to attract what you want, it does seem like you are enjoying time with friends. Venus and Libra is about socializing and getting together with people that you love, Leo, and also just enjoying your spiritual work and your healing work. And I think you're making some big decisions around your career at this time, around alliances, or around calling in new clients. But I do believe when it comes to matters of the heart, you're waiting for the wheel to turn. You're like, okay, I'm waiting for that divinely guided, higher level union. I'm hearing that. And if you are in connection, I feel like you're trying to weather some disappointments and heal from them, and some confusion around how to, get on the same page with someone. And you're trying to implement some changes in the connection. Yeah. There's a little bit of stubbornness. If you're dealing with somebody, there's some stubbornness, or you're trying to just not be too stubborn about things and impatient about things, Leo, in general. But I'm getting like, just stand strong, stand independent, stay sovereign. There's just a lot of independence that you're focusing on at this time. Many of you are saving up and trying to earn more money. Okay. I do see that you've got people that want to be generous with you overall. All right. We've got beautiful earth energy balancing things out. I think Venus in Libra has a lot to do with you really working on increasing your finances, increasing your stability, and enjoying the fruits of your labor, but also being open up to people who want to be generous with you, who want to be real with you and honest with you. A lot of you are single. You're still kind of grieving a past situation with potentially an earth sign or someone that you were, with a long time, someone that you were kind of like, nesting with. But you've been moving past that for a little bit now, and you've been freeing up your manifestation energy in your own transformation. You've got, I think this is about love coming to you when you least expect it, and you just focusing on your work right now and making yourself happy and healing, okay? Because you had a lot of fighting with this past person, and it wasn't healthy for you. You had tower after tower, and now, love is coming towards you. But right now, you're still trying to come into balance. It could be at least a few weeks out or 2 months out for some of you, because you just need time on your own. All right. I'm getting that for a lot of you Leos out there. But we'll go deeper into your collective message when I get to you, Leo, for the mid-monthlies. Now, finally, let's get to earth signs. All right. Let's see what's going on with you earth signs. Virgo, what's happening for you for the Venus in Libra placement? All right. This is how Venus in Libra is impacting you for the next couple weeks, Virgo, which has to do with your finances, with any close relationship. For those of you who are single or in a connection, I'm going to talk about both. Okay. We'll see what comes out. Ooh, we have the Lovers. So there's a strong connection. You're either calling in or you're deepening at this time, okay? Love is taking center stage for you, but there's been some recent challenges and obstacles that you're trying to work through and navigate, but it's helping you get closer, because the Lovers is a choice, and you're always going to have these conflicts or, things that you're going to have to work through. We have the Lovers with the Five of Wands. Ultimately, you're definitely investing in this, and you're looking at it going, it's worth it. We have challenges, it's real, but it's helping us align with love in a deeper way. I feel like the emotional waters are calming down. You two are investing in this. You're just having some challenges, I think you're coming through those challenges though, and you're investing in each other. Yeah, we have the King and Queen of Cups, Virgo, and the Two of Cups. Okay. I think you both are dropping some emotional, heaviness that you've experienced maybe through eclipse season. And I see, the water's calming down, love returning, it's deepening, and just maybe there's a lot of affection coming up during Venus and Libra season. Yeah, it's a lot of beautiful love. You're the first, I think, reading I've had for Venus and Libra where you're actually both being represented in love, okay? So enjoy it. You might be really experiencing a very loving union and a lot of beautiful, sweet love. All right, during Venus and Libra season. Last one. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have kept going. There's a Tower. Now, for those of you who are single, I think that you are working on self-love, self-care. You are wanting love, all right? You may have, what's this Tower about? I'm getting more for you singles. There's a Tower coming in. Ooh, a tower, like a powerful, like, it's like when you have a lighthouse and you're like, open for business and you're like a beacon of light. We have the Queen of Wands, the Tower. Interesting. Ooh, and the Devil. Ooh. Okay. Some of you need to be careful with somebody at work, all right? Or anyone influencing or putting a damper on you. And you're anyone draining your energy, Virgo. I'm getting that you might have a surprise. This feels different because it's a different person than the King and Queen of Cups. This could even be a fire sign who gets in the way of your connection, okay? Yeah, we just got a honk outside. So you could be moving past someone from the past that came in from you or your connection to clear up something. But it created a tower and it was like a bye-bye. Okay, a moving on. That might have been what caused the challenge to begin with. Just something that, whether it was another party or it was a habit or behavior or a limiting belief that need to be cleared away. Now, if this is someone, if you're single, okay, you're trying to align in your heart and in your fire, your vital life force, in moving forward with your heart and really opening up to the idea of a new person, okay? Some of you are at really like meeting somebody if you're single. This is only for people who are single. Single as a Pringle, okay? Just be careful with when you do start to date somebody. If you notice anything weird, like if they're over drinking or if they're talking real negatively about their past people, real bad, right? And they don't seem to get over it and they're not really in a position. This is when you go out on dates and they can't stop talking about their ex. So just be careful, Virgo, with anybody in your life, if on a dating scene, okay, that you know isn't healthy for you. You might realize that something isn't healthy for you, all right? Yeah. Ultimately, I think you're healing. Yeah. Some of you are healing scarcity and you're trying to diminish your fears around your wishes, ultimately. I think for all of you Virgos, this energy speaks to me about, you know, there's been some surprising twists. You are in a period of glowing up. And you're changing some habits and you're changing some beliefs and you're aligning with your own healing and you're restoring faith overall, Virgo, during Venus and Libra season, okay? Ultimately, you're powering up. You're standing in your seat of power with the Emperor, okay? Yeah. Let's keep going. Now, let's go into Taurus. Taurus. Since Venus is in Libra, I'm thinking you're going to have a pretty groovy placement here with Venus and Libra. So let's see. Because you're ruled by Venus and Libra is your sister sign. You both have Venus as your ruling planet. So let's see Taurus. What's going on here with Venus and Libra? Okay, Eight of Swords, Queen of Wands, Four of Wands. There's definitely, you feel maybe something about your circumstances at home that you're overthinking at this time. Everybody's aligning with this Aquarius, this Pluto and Aquarius. It's really like this transformation that we all need in order to align with more faith in what we're trying to build in our lives. You're at a crossroads. Maybe in your home, there's something that you're trying to change in some sort of connection in your life. Some of you who are getting into partnership, who are in partnership, because Four of Wands does symbolize partnership, you're trying to restore your faith in the connection itself. You felt a little stuck and you're at this crossroads and really making some heavy decisions about how you invest your energy. If this doesn't have to do with a commitment, this is something hitting the home life where you're trying to heal, you know, just in general from things that have bothered you recently through eclipse season. But I see you going through a complete renewal here. We've got a lot of major arcana showing up here with the Judgment and the Star. All right. I think you're trying to work on your own creativity, your own inspiration. There's a lot of stability and structure that you're pouring in to your work at this time. Yeah, a lot of you are just trying to go within and focus on yourselves. We have the Hermit energy here. I just heard you're coming out of a dark night of the soul type of energy, but you've learned a lot. You're communicating a new truth and you're moving forward, all right, during Libra season, and especially this Venus in Libra. I feel like if you are opening to dating, something could really like almost be, I'm seeing that it could be kind of like a love bomb situation, but it actually, like, it feels good. It's going to help you get past some sort of ending that you've gone through. So a lot of you, if you're moving on, you do have a Page of Cups situation. Knight of Wands, we have Knight of Swords, Page of Cups, Knight of Wands. So we have night energy coming towards you and you being kind of like shocked, all right? And then we have the King and Queen of Swords, the Four of Swords, and the Eight of Wands. I feel like you're being guided to go down a path that maybe you didn't anticipate. One door closed. You've been kind of regrouping since, but you do have something that's going to come in fast. And I think that, you know, it's about too what have you learned in this past, you know, situations you've been in around communication, communicating your needs, not shrinking, not holding back, right? Not swallowing, bottling up. Okay. So whether you're in connection or not, I see that if you can stay open, there's a lot of healing going on and you moving forward, as long as you can really be open and expressive and speak from your depths. Okay. Speak from your depths, all right? Taurus, it's going to help you a lot around healing any connection that you're dealing with. But overall, for you singles out there, I do see something coming towards you during Venus and Libra season, okay? And you getting over an ending that was pretty brutal and really opening up into a brand new situation and really just taking a leap of faith in a new connection, okay? I'm curious. Yeah, you're calling in new love, a lot of you. Could be Gemini or heavy water, okay? We got a King of Cups. So Keep the faith, okay? And listen and trust your intuition, okay? Ultimately, you know what's best for you, all right, Taurus? Okay. Now, finally, whew, I don't do this very often, but it's fun. All right, Capricorn, what's going on for you Capricorns? For the Venus and Libra placement for the next couple of weeks as I tie this out. Happiness, Capricorn, the light of the sun, joy. You could be enjoying time with your children. Queen of Cups, happiness and love. I like that. Really keeping your heart open here. Oh, I like this. I think you're moving on from maybe a little bit of burnout. We have the Nine of Wands, things settling down. You could be socializing heavily and just enjoying time with friends. I'm seeing overall just like date nights, if you're with somebody, you just experiencing like loving someone. I feel like you're pouring love into somebody, and you might be a little stressed out at work, but you're trying to calm down a little bit with work situations or even stress around this connection in general if you're in connection. All right. Capricorn. Yeah, there's some sort of big choice you're making, Two of Swords, and you're trying not to be stubborn about it, or someone around you is making a big decision. There's been some confusion about moving forward in a situation, but I do see things stabilizing and grounding. Yeah, things are coming back into balance. So if you've been in some kind of hardship around a connection in your life, and you kind of being like, I don't know what's going to happen here, I do see that you're going to sort it out. Okay. Truth will prevail. Okay. With the Justice, with the Four of Wands, Ten of Wands, the Hierophant, the King of Pentacles, the King of Swords, yeah, and the Hermit. Yeah, I feel like you've been learning a lot from a particular connection in your life. Some of you, this isn't romance. A lot of you, it is. There's a lot of love here and a lot of happiness, but you tend to stress out about it. And they're telling you, try not to do that. Maybe they like to go out and they're with their friends and you worry about what they're doing. And it's like, you know, try not to like make your mind go in all these different places. I do think that, you know, you are going to communicate better some of these fears I'm getting for some of you, but ultimately if you're worried if this is going to lead, some of you are wondering if this is going to lead to commitment, like are we going to move in, are we going to, you know, to go to the next stage? And if you've been confused about that, I do see that you will. A lot of you are going to move to the next level in a connection in during Venus and Libra season, but there's some pain that you're trying to sort out with how someone has been responding to you. And if you're patient, okay, through these disappointments, I feel like hang on, because you will reach that higher level commitment that you seek, especially if you are dealing with an earth sign or an air sign, okay? And just try to stay grounded and focus on you, not so much on trying to make someone giddy up. Okay. I'm getting that you are, and if you already are in a higher level commitment, I think you're trying to come up with ways to beautify the home, to come together, to experience more connection, a deepening of your connection. Yeah. A lot of you are calling in your divine counterpart. If you're single, you're just moving on from something that caused you a lot of pain, and you are trying not to hold on to it. And you're moving forward. Some of you are moving homes or have to move homes after a breakup, and you're trying to come back into balance. But ultimately, you are large and in charge here. And I think you are dealing with somebody who could very well be like the person that you're supposed to end up with. But you've had to clear up some really tough, like trauma, toxic bonds first in your life, where people had too much pride, gaslighting you. And you're slowly been going through this big, like, I'm going to put me first now. And you're feeling fired up, though. I feel like you've got a new connection coming in. I see a new partner for you coming in, a new sex partner. So, Capricorn, we're talking about, a lot of you I talked a lot more about love life in these. Tell me if you like that focus, because I normally don't do that focus so much in general. But as I wrap up the outro here, that was just a little bit, I didn't intend to do every sign. But if you like that, let me know. It was fun. I hope you enjoyed this message. And yeah, take care, everybody. Namaste.